So you'll begin on all fours, taking a moment to establish your arms, wrist, shoulder alignment, your hip, knee alignment. And this is just a guideline. So if it feels better to have your arms a little more forward, or to have your hips a little more back, all that is good. So you're going to adjust for your own torso and your own comfort. First, you're going to play with finding the gentle micro push of the hands to send your weight back. And then the micro push of your lower legs, of your knees, pressing down to bring your weight, your body forward. So there's this gentle micro push to shift back, and then the micro push through the lower legs to bring the body headward. So just playing with that. So the push of two arms, the push of two legs. You're maintaining a stable, a quiet, but present spine trunk. So you can see how I'm keeping stability through my spine. And then just watch the head doesn't drop, but you can play with the image of keeping your head above your collarbones. So this would be dropping below the collarbones. So floating the head up, trying not to overextend the neck. So there's just a little chin in feeling, but not a forcing. And then after you play with shifting back, shifting forward, you can definitely take that shift back into a child's pose, feet together, knees apart. You can stay here, you can bend the elbows, you can make a pillow with your hands for your head. You can take it into more the classical expression of child's pose. Breathing here, finding the expansion of your rib cage, of your lungs when you inhale. It's really resting your head, your brain into the support of the floor, whatever surface you're on. You can at any time just come into more relaxed arms. And there's even here at times you can use your two arms, the push of your two arms, to shift your weight back into your sitting bones. That can be a nice place to bring more traction into the back of the trunk, more length there, and more weightedness into the pelvis. Next, you'll move into breathing, and you can do this in a variety of ways. So I'm just taking this next to the belly, and you can put a rolled hand towel under the pelvis if there's too much arch in the lower back. You can also roll a bath towel and put it under the feet, under the ankles. And with this one, your head can be side. I'm making a pillow of support with my hands. You can have your head, forehead centered. And here you're using the support of the floor or whatever surface you're on to create proprioception, to create the feeling, the feedback, which is going to help your body through a sensorial experience know where it is, where our body is. As you inhale, you may feel that you can expand or push into the floor, so that creates compression through the tissue and organs on the underside. And exhale, just releasing. So just feeling the rise and fall of your underside into the floor and away from the floor. And then you can turn to your side. You can use any kind of pillows or head support under the head. any kind of pillows between the knees if this position isn't comfortable. And now breathing through the underside. And you may do this for 2 to 4 breath cycles or more if it feels good. I'm just going to move more quickly and then coming onto your back. I like to have the legs bent here. And now the whole underside. So now your back body, as you breathe, you're feeling your back ribs, your kidney area, the backs of your lungs, moving in towards the floor. And then just a relaxed exhale. You can do this with your legs extended, but if the legs extended create too much pull in the back, you could always take that rolled bath towel and place it under the knees. I always like to use my hands just to feel as extra ways of sensing and feeling, helping my body get to know where my body is. And then after you feel complete with that, rolling to your side body and feeling the underside. Again, you can put some kind of pillow here if that's too much on your back or pelvis. You can put pillows, prop your head so that you're not straining in your neck. And you're using the floor to breathe in, push like your lungs, the organs underneath get to feel feedback through the compression of your body and the floor, that meeting space. And while the underside is compressed, the side that is skyward, ceiling ward is becoming a suspension side. So this is a simple way to invite three-dimensional breathing into your body, mobilizing your lungs, your diaphragm, and just reviewing here the movement of the diaphragm. When you inhale, the diaphragm contracts and draws downwards towards the pelvic floor. And when you exhale, the diaphragm releases back up inside the rib cage. So if this is the diaphragm, this dome, when you inhale, it goes down. When you exhale, the dome releases and back into the shape. So the dome is here. When you inhale, it draws down. When you exhale, it releases. So inhale, exhale, inhale. Diaphragm drawing downwards towards the pelvis. When you exhale, it releases and just finds its natural resting shape inside the rib cage. And often when there's abdominal tightness, there can even be tightness in the stomach, in the intestine, in the psoas. So this, in the beginning, it might feel like your ribs could be arching, your spine arching towards the ceiling, ribs popping out. We don't want to just compress and pull them down. We want to feel the back muscles lengthen and the front soften and lengthen. You may, as the tissue's releasing, sometimes you might feel or hear gurgling of your organs, and that's all very healthy. And then the final exploration is a half X roll. So the body is in an X, comfortable. So if it feels better to have more narrow legs and arms down, all that is adjustable. And with this, I'm going to initiate by my fingers flexing the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder. And as the arm reaches, I'm also going to rotate my head, reach my eyes towards the opposite arm. And then coming back, leading now with the foot. So actually, it's the same side. So the foot reaches, that leg turns out, the hip and the waist and the lower ribs, the middle ribs, the upper ribs, the head returns, and then you do the other side. Reaching the foot leg from internal rotation to external to just bring you back. Then the hip, the lower waist, the ribs, the shoulder, the head rolls back to center, the arm unfurls. So this, you can pause anywhere. And there is some spatial intention. So I'm reaching on this diagonal towards the other arm. I'm using my eyes. If you feel like you're getting stuck somewhere, it's easy to kind of like push with the hip and leg. See if you can connect hand to shoulder blade, rib cage. The underside also presses and rolls into the floor. And we're not rolling onto the belly, just onto the side. And then from here, that back, that top leg, which is a little bit back, reaches, rotates. You can kind of slide your heel, pelvis, ribs, shoulder. Letting my head rotate, which feels nice. Letting my neck, my cervical spine rotate. So you can find what feels good. And then this is this kind of standard spinal twist or knee drop with control. Arms can now be out to the side, palms down, palms up. It feels best in your body, slow and controlled. This can just be a nice recuperation. Knees can come in, you can hug in with knees together, knees separated. Breathing, just relaxing the belly. And then just taking a moment to rock the pelvis, tail towards the floor. So that will bring an arch to the spine, to the lower spine, ribs, tail towards ceiling. So we just bring a little pelvic movement and spinal motion as another moving recuperation. And then just taking a moment just to feel back into your body. Legs can stay bent or extended. You can close eyes. Just a moment or two to integrate, let the body soak in the movement.